Hello legends, welcome, welcome. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I've had quite a few comments and questions on YouTube about movement and essentially how I move about the place and how I turn myself into a little eel and slide about when fighting. Just as a precursor, my personal view is bar like combat mechanics of attack windows, blocking, pushing, all that kind of stuff. Movement is the most important skill to master in Darktide. Like mechanical skill, right? There's obviously a deep level of game knowledge that comes with Havoc that everyone needs to build up to succeed in that game mode, but movement is something you can practice right now, and it's something that will make you a significantly better player if you master it. So just before we start, I use a mod called Numeric UI. I cry for you, my console friends. But what it does is it adds essentially data points to various stats in the game, and a big one I want to call out is you see the 5 out of 5 in the middle of the screen, just between my thumb and my forefinger. That is my dodge counter, okay? Now you have the base game dodge counter, which is a bar, which you can see when I dodge, going from 4 now down to 0, right? However, you can see there's a discrepancy already. The base bar has 4, my dodge counter has 5. Now, I'm not going to delve into the why, but just know I use Numeric UI's dodge counter to understand where I am with my available dodges and essentially how I control my regen. So, movement then. Right, so 2 things which are super important. Number 1, keybinds. Number 2, actual inputs to move about. So just to start with keybinds, okay? Go into options, keybinds. Now the thing that I probably do differently to you / maybe most, I have no idea. This is just how I've always played since Darktide 2, is I have both dodge and I have crouch, both assigned to spacebar, as you can see. And what this does is it lets me access dodges and slides really intuitively in the middle of combat. Now the only other keybind I think you need to be aware of is sprint, which for me is on left shift. We use sprint to add some velocity to our movement, and it lets us slide rather than just dodge. Okay, so it's a combination of left shift, the directional input, and then spacebar, which allows me to slide. Now I will call this out because I see so many players, even really experienced players in Havoc, who just jump instead of dodging or sliding. And this is horrendously dangerous, right? The number of times I've seen people do a little hop in front of a burster or in front of a crusher and just get absolutely atomized is staggeringly high. Don't be that person. Unbind your jump and your dodge key, right? Make them separate. You don't actually jump that often in this game. You just use it to hurdle stuff, really, right? And occasionally to make a long jump. So for me, I have this set to left control. So my jump is left control. I will never hit this when I'm fighting, yeah? When this big fucker here, when he's winding up his overhead and showing you his armpits, if you do that in front of him, he's going to squish you like a pancake, right? Don't do that. Okay. Right, so the keybinds then. So dodge and crouch on spacebar. So if we start with dodges, all I'm doing here is going D, spacebar, A, spacebar. So dodge right, dodge left. And how long I hold the inputs dictates how long I'm dodging, basically, right? So little dodge, long dodge. Little dodge, long dodge, right? That's the fundamental, okay? You'll notice my dodge counter is now in the minus, so I am barely bloody moving now, right? So what I need to do here, if I find myself in this state, my evasive capabilities are severely hampered, right? I'm literally barely moving. Whereas if you can see how much further I travel, yeah? Whereas if we get this down into the negatives, it starts slowing down to a crawl, right? If you find yourself in this space, you need to let your dodges reset, right? On Psyker, it's actually pretty damn fast, but just keep an eye on your dodge counter. It's like managing stamina, which you also should be doing in an MMO or something like this, right? Okay. So the movement then. Dodges, nice and easy. Now if I want to slide, super simple, can just slide forward. Let me just pick a direction. Let me pick this bloody Reaper guy, because we hate Reapers. In fact, let's just sort them out a sec. Okay. So this is our North Star right here. If I want to slide forward, easiest thing. Literally just tap left shift for sprints, holding W key, and then I hold my spacebar down. Okay. Whee! Look at that. Nice. Now, I'm not going to cover why we would slide. I think this is like a gameplay fundamental. Basically, gives you immunity frames to range, right? Okay. So, sliding forward. Super simple. Left shift, hold W, hold spacebar. Okay. Now, if I want to slide to the right, now, I can't sprint to the right. You know what I mean, right? I can only sprint forward. I can only sprint in the direction I'm facing. But what I can do, even if I'm in the middle of fighting, I can tap left shift to give me the access to sprint. So I need velocity to slide, right? I need to be moving quicker than this. This just gives me a dodge. Okay. So facing the Reaper, if I want to slide to the right, I'm going left shift, W, turning my camera to the right and sliding that way. Okay. So like this. Now, there's no way for me to slow this down, brothers and sisters, so I'm just going to do it again, okay? So left shift, W, turn to the right, slide with spacebar. Oh. Right. You'll find it's much easier if you just slide in diagonals, and this is literally just how I'm going. So when I'm moving around here, I'm literally holding down W key. I'm tapping left shift when I come out of a slide to give me speed and velocity so I can slide again, and then I'm just using my mouse to control direction and spacebar to move about. Alright? Now I've just said that out loud and it sounds mad complex, but really just try it. It's that easy. So if I want to slide to the right again, I just do that. Right? So space, left shift, speed, W gives me momentum going forward, and I turn my camera the direction I want. The key thing though, you need to build speed up, right? If I just don't use shift, so I do the same input, so I go, you see, you see how ridiculous that looks, right? But that is in essence what I'm doing here. I just add shift first. So shift, now I slide. Okay. Now I can use this in all sorts of ways, and honestly, you do this long enough, your hands will just start making you slide all over the place to combat threats, which is both a blessing and a curse, to be honest with you. But again, I'm facing our Reaper gun over here, right? I want to slide to the left. I'm sliding left, right? W, shift, look to the left, and slide. Slide to the left. It's all in the hips, all right? And if I want to slide backwards, I can even do that. Forward, turn my camera backwards, slide, right? So this lets you go literally anywhere you want, any direction, as long as you don't screw up your inputs. You will get comfortable with this, just practice. A little tip, it's always better, I say better, it's always easier to slide in diagonals than it is to go in flat directions. So if I want to slide directly to the right, it's not so easy. It requires more movement of my hands. Whereas if I just want to take, so rather than going directly here, I want to take a diagonal, dead easy, right? Dead easy. Whereas if I want to slide 90 degrees that way, less easy. All right. Now, what else can I show you when I'm doing this? I can go backwards. Ooh, like that. Now, this is fucking amazing. There's a burster. There's a situation going on here that you just want no part of. Just get away from it, right? Now, obviously, if there are mobs, if I'm stood here fighting mobs, I maybe don't want to be doing this. Because the act of me getting up speed, you know, holding a direction down and then spinning the direction means I'm not defending myself, yeah? When I hold block, I slow down, yeah? So if you want to slide, you can hold block while sliding. It's just that little setup period. These little fuckers are going to absolutely slap you, okay? So try not to slide in the direct when I come back. Also worth noting, if you're fighting in melee, dodges are much safer and will give you immunity in a small iframe window to melee attacks. Now, conversely, if we look at range bastards, these guys, my god, these guys. Well, you just got to start by teaching them a lesson. There we go. Right. Now, these two, if I dodge, yeah, it helps, don't get me wrong, but sliding gives me a window of ranged immunity, right? So if I'm approaching these guys, I'm not going to run straight at them like brave Sir Robin, who ran the other way. I'm going to run and slide in diagonals, basically doing the old zigzag, right? We've all watched the war movies. We all know run at zigzags when facing enemy fire. Do it in Darktide. Okay? Like this. And again, like I say, look, there's probably loads of downsides to how I'm set up here. In fact, just to cover one of them, because my dodge and crouch are on the same key, if I screw my input up, right, if I hit spacebar just before doing a direction, or if I'm really low on a dodge counter, I could just do a little mini crouch, which I think a few of you have noticed in some of the YouTube gameplay videos, right? Yeah, there's no benefit to that, bar if this little fucker, again, if that guy shoots at me while I'm doing a little crouch, I might dodge the shot. But apart from that, there's no real benefit there. Just thought I'd call that out. Anyway, I hope that was useful. Yeah, if you have any questions, just shout out in the comments or hit me up on my disc, and I'd be happy to answer. All right. Stay classy, San Diego. All the best.